Hello, Chris from Performance Remap here. We thought we'd start doing a few videos. A lot of things are better to explain on a video than just typing a load of text out on Facebook. So here we've got a BMW E91 330D. It's a 2009 245 horsepower model, a car we tune a lot of and an engine we like tuning. So we initially got this car in day before yesterday. First job we had to do on it was clean out the intake manifold. There were some fault codes in there for throttle flap plausibility, and essentially what's happened is the intake manifold's full of carbon and it's stopping the throttle flaps from moving. So we took the inlet manifold off, which sits here, and basically cleaned out all the carbon and left it working hunky-dory as it should be. Now this BMW arrived with a Chip Express tuning box on it. Now we've seen a lot of tuning boxes over the time, working here and testing them on the dyno, and generally they produce pretty poor results, and here's a reason why. So this tuning box, just two connections on it. It simply plugs into the fuel rail here. You take that off, you plug it into here and that one onto there, and it interferes with the fuel rail pressure and tries to trick the ECU into making more power, which it can, but it doesn't do very successfully, as we will show you on the dyno chart. So what we've done, you'll see that everything on the chart is color coded. So Chip Express, everything's in red. We then put it back to standard, everything's in blue, and then we've gone on to custom tune it, and we have genuinely custom tuned it. We've done a few map revisions on it when we've had time over the last couple of days. So we'll look at the torque lines to start with. These are the torque lines: standard, Chip Express, and our tune. So what you'll see looking at the figures, so the Chip Express box made 268 horsepower and 612 Newton meters of torque. So the peak figures there, particularly the torque, don't look too bad. They look pretty reasonable. But if you look down the chart, so we've scored a decent peak number, but when you actually look at the volume area of torque it's created, it's very small. Compared to standard, until you get to about 2,600 RPM, it almost follows the standard lines there. Then creates a huge dollop of torque for about 600 RPM, and then starts to fade away, staying about 40 Newton meters over stock. And horsepower, we've got again, it typically follows the same sort of lines. You've got a bit more of a dollop of horsepower there, and then pretty much follows what the horsepower did standard. Hence the quite poor horsepower figure up there. It hasn't gained much at all. So moving on, we custom tuned it. We did this, we've worked on it bits and bobs over the last couple of days around other jobs. Our tune here, so we produced 318 horsepower and 634 Newton meters of torque. We've not gone to town on it. It is capable of more, but it's done a few miles, so we'll just be sensible with it. Now, if you look at our torque line compared to the Chip Express, absolutely miles different. We've got, as soon as we hit 1800 RPM, a huge volume of torque there, and it continues to the end. So there you go. That's the difference between a good bit of custom tuning and a tuning box. Thanks for watching. We'll do another video again shortly.